Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurvX here, the Scurv podcast. Why do people drain you so much? How constant socializing is destroying your identity. You feel it the moment you walk away from people. Not just tired, but hollow. Like something inside you was quietly taken without your permission. You smile, you nod, you play your part. But when it's over, you don't feel full. You feel drained. And deep down, you know this is not normal. No matter how many times the world tells you it is. They say you just need to recharge. They say it's your personality. They say some people are introverts and some are extroverts. But that's not the full truth. What you're feeling is not just social fatigue. It's something deeper. Something that's slowly eating away at your mind every time you force yourself to fit in. From a young age, you were trained to believe that being social equals being healthy. Classrooms rewarded group work. Jobs reward teamwork. Society praises those who can blend in, smile on command, and move with the crowd. You were taught that isolation is a problem, not a solution. But what if that belief is backwards? What if the very thing you've been told to chase is the thing that's quietly destroying your clarity, your energy, and your sense of self? Take a hard look at your own life. How often do you adjust yourself just to keep the peace? How many times do you laugh when nothing is funny, agree when you don't agree, and stay silent when you should speak? You think you're just playing along, but your mind is keeping score. Every time you enter a social space, your brain goes to work. You read faces, you study tones, you adjust your words, you filter your thoughts. You become someone else just enough to survive the moment. And that process is not free. It costs you energy, focus, and truth. This is what drains you. Not the people themselves, but the performance you're forced to give. You're acting, even when you don't realize it. And the more you act, the more your real self begins to fade into the background. Your brain is not a switch you can turn on and off. It adapts. It reshapes itself based on repetition. So when you constantly pretend, you don't just play a role. You become it. Slowly. Permanently. This is why you feel disconnected from yourself after being around people too long. You spent hours being someone else, and now you have to find your way back to who you really are. And the worst part, society expects this from you, but punishes you for it at the same time. If you're too real, you're labeled difficult. If you're too fake, you're called insincere. You're stuck in a system where authenticity is risky and performance is exhausting. When you spend time in groups, something else happens, something even more dangerous. You begin to shrink. Groups don't rise to the smartest person. They fall to the simplest level everyone can handle. Complex thoughts get ignored. Deep ideas get brushed off. Real conversations get replaced with shallow noise. And if you stay in that environment long enough, you start to adjust. You simplify your thoughts. You water down your words. You stop going deep because nobody around you wants to go there. You begin to match the energy of the room, not because you want to, but because your brain is wired to adapt. And in doing so, you lose your edge. You start caring about things that don't matter. You get pulled into drama that has nothing to do with you. You absorb the mindset of people who don't think like you, and before you know it, your clarity is gone. This is how people lose themselves, not in one big moment, but in small compromises repeated over time. The more you stay plugged into people, the less control you have over your own mind. Your attention gets pulled in every direction. Messages, calls, invitations, opinions, noise. You wake up and your thoughts are already filled with what other people want, think, and feel. You're reacting all day instead of creating, responding instead of directing. And after a while, you forget how to sit with yourself. Silence becomes uncomfortable. Stillness feels strange. You need noise just to feel normal. That's not connection. That's dependence. When you can't be alone with your own thoughts, it means your mind has been taken over. You've lost your center. Your decisions are no longer yours. They're shaped by people around you. And that's how people end up living lives they never truly chose. You think being around people cures loneliness, but it often makes it worse. Because if you're not being real, they're not connecting with you. They're connecting with the version of you that you created to fit in. And deep down, you know that. So even when you're surrounded by people, you feel unseen, unheard, unknown. You laugh with them, talk with them, spend time with them, but something is missing. That real connection, that understanding. And it's missing because you're not showing them who you really are. You're showing them what they can handle. That's the trap. If you drop the mask, you risk losing them. If you keep the mask, you lose yourself, and you stay stuck in the middle, surrounded but alone. There comes a point where you have to make a decision. Keep draining yourself to fit in, or pull back and rebuild your mind. Distance is not weakness, it's strategy. When you step away from constant interaction, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to clear, your thoughts return, your energy comes back. You start to hear yourself again. The opinions you buried come back to the surface. The ideas you pushed aside start to grow again. The person you used to be begins to reappear. But it won't be easy. People will question you. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you distant, cold, even arrogant. But let them. What they're really reacting to is the fact that they no longer have access to your energy the way they used to. And that's exactly the point. You don't need to disappear from the world, but you need to become selective. Not every conversation deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every person deserves access to your mind. You have to protect your energy like it matters, because it does. When you do choose to engage, do it on your terms, not out of fear, not out of habit, but out of choice. And when you walk away, you should feel the same or better, not empty, not drained. That's how you know you're doing it right. The world will always try to pull you in, to shape you, to smooth your edges, to make you easier to understand and easier to control. But you don't have to accept that. You have the power to step back, to observe, to choose. And when you finally close the door on the noise and stand alone in your own space, you'll be forced with one question. Who are you without the crowd? If that question makes you uncomfortable, then you already know what needs to be done. If those words rang true with you, let me know. If you have something to add, do so in the comments section. This is something I've realized a long time ago, and this is how I preserve myself, not to get drained by a world that's pulling you away from yourself. The greatest gift you can give to yourself is being your own best friend and always being connected with you and what you want to do. You can give of yourself selectively, but at the end of the day, you should never ever allow your batteries to get drained where you're not useful for your own self. Much love to you all. Take care. Thanks for spending your time here with me. LanceScurv out. On to the next one. Peace.